Hi guys, good afternoon. This sector today is Tuesday 11th of September at 5 minutes to 6 p.m. London time. European markets have closed down for the day, and I've taken no trade today. So I was telling the guys on my mailing list this morning, there were two setups that I was following. One was the Australian dollar against the New Zealand dollar of the 4 hours time frame, which is let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see that properly right there. It's a clear uptrend, as you can see on my screen right now, but despite the fact that it's definitely a clear uptrend, and despite the fact that we price was retracing back down to the dynamic area of support, there were no other elements of support backing up a possible long entry. There was no previous swing high. Okay, the previous swing high was almost 100 pips down below. No counter trend line. There is no Fibonacci level right there. I think the 38 was up there and the 50 was around there. So like I was saying, other than the dynamic area of support, there were no other elements that we could base a possible long entry from. All right. So I was telling the guys that to be careful on this particular trade, because it was definitely a risky trade, okay? And well, as we can see, if we zoom into the 1 hour time frame, despite the fact that we did indeed find some support of the dynamic area of support, it was just not enough to well, like I say, sustain the move to the upside. And right now it seems like it's collapsing as the New York session is unfolding. Next, the other setup that I was mentioning this morning, like I said on my mailing list, was a possible short entry on the US dollar against the Japanese yen. If you guys remember, this is a trade that I took yesterday for minus 33 pips loss. Throughout the last day, we've seen a pretty well-defined sideways range right below the 11400 round number. As you can see on my chart, let me zoom out a little bit back into the 4 hours time frame. We have a double bottom right there, also at the 11400 round number, which price bounced off that. Of that level yesterday, which was the actual trade that I took yesterday. As you can see, it didn't quite pan out as expected, and other than that, we've been moving sideways all day long. I was telling the guys that if this range broke to the downside, perhaps it could have been the beginning of a whole new swing to the downside. Nonetheless, as we can see right now on my live screen, like I said, it's about 6 p.m. London time. Right now, it's actually breaking to the wrong side of the market. Okay, it's breached the 11400. It's breached the 50% Fibonacci level, and well. It's definitely not a setup I like to be involved with. Definitely not short, okay? Despite the fact that still, if we go back into the 4 hours time frame or even the daily chart, we can clearly see that the trend is down on the shorter time frames. In this case, the hourly. I'm just not seeing the the elements that I like to base a trade off. Okay, I was telling the guys that this morning that I like to see clean bounces off a level of support versus resistance. In this case, this is not the case on the USD JPY. As we can see, we did have some kind of temporary bounce, but then we've just been moving, meandering sideways, and that's not the kind of price action I like to read on my charts. Okay, I like a clean bounce, price retracing back to the support area, resistance area in this case, since we're in a downtrend, and finding enough momentum, enough sellers at this point to drive price south for a whole new swing to the downside. But like I said, this hasn't been the case. This range that I was following for a possible breakout to the downside, it just hasn't happened. So therefore, no trade has been taken today. Okay, those were the only two setups that I was following in, and well, none of them really looked very appealing to my eyes, so I decided to stay, to remain on the sidelines for the whole day. All right. Well, nothing much else to say really. Sometimes we get this kind of silly price action across the board, and well, in this cases, it's just best to keep our discipline in check, and remain cold enough to to know when to stay out of the market and not to risk or not to gamble our money away with any possible trade. All right. Okay, folks, that's all. I'll be seeing you tomorrow at the website. Bye bye.